Survivor is a word that is in very common usage these days, and it can mean everything from someone who has been spared amid genocide to someone who's been cured of an illness. One can be a survivor of an abusive home life, a flood in New Orleans, or a few weeks on an island for a TV game show. The word means many things to many people, depending on whether it's used by artists, psychologists, or politicians. One wonders, does survivor describe someone who has simply endured trauma, or does the term imply a more heroic conquest of fate?
Legend tells us of a woman made insane by the death of her child and still holding his dead body tight in her arms, who went in search of Buddha to ask him the reason for her misfortune. With compassion, his gaze lost in the distance, all desire subdued, floating already in the great nothingness, where all pain subsides, the holy man looked at the young woman and asked her, didn't she know that everything that is born must eventually die, and that by giving birth to her child, she was already promising him to the darkness of the tomb?
People would tell me who knew her mother, that she was saying that I was living with her. And then other friends would come and say, I saw her coming out of the subway. And it began to seem to me that I with respect to the mysteries of existence, which I do, I think also, we get torn open.
I believe very much in dreams. The first pages of Sarinagara tell a dream I had when I was a child. You're a child and you walk in your own city, but the city you were walking through seems unfamiliar, and you have the impression that you're getting lost, and you come back to your own home, and you knock on the door, and nobody opens the door, or somebody opens the door, but you don't know who that person is, and that person doesn't recognize you. And so that's the very start of my novel. And I think that writing a novel is very much similar to dreaming a dream. And I think you write a novel because you want to know what's going to be at the end of the dream. But of course, there is never an end to a dream because you always wake up before the dream is over. So that's why you keep writing and writing and writing.
Or that time we had to go to a cocktail party in Manhattan. Aura was at home, and I was a few subway stops closer to Manhattan, down in Dumbo, where I was subletting a friend's inexpensive writing studio for a few months. The plan was that she would take the F train to the York Street stop, find me waiting on the platform, and then we'd ride the next train into Manhattan. One train came, its doors opened, a few people got out, another pulled in several minutes later. The station, winter-trapped inside, was a grimy cement and iron deep freezer. The payphones were broken. My cell phone didn't work inside the subway. Robotic rats on the tracks, eating electricity and iron filings. How could this be happening? We'd timed it. I'd phoned her and said, all right, I'm ready to go to the station. And she'd said, give me five more minutes. And so I'd waited 5 more minutes.